There's actually a surprising amount of platform fighting games out there. And while a lot of them are heavily inspired by Super Smash Bros., a lot of these games also brought some unique stuff to the table, especially when it came to their character design. And since in the past I've covered the best designed characters in hero shooters, I thought why not do the same thing, but for my second favorite genre of games, platform fighters. So without further ado, let's talk about the best designed characters in every single platform fighting game. Now, obviously Super Smash Bros. Is going to take a big chunk of this video, and I didn't think it'd be fair to just talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I'm actually going to be talking about the best designed characters in every single Smash game, all 5 of them. But so this video doesn't just feel like Smash Bros. The whole time, I'll spread out the Smash Bros. Between every other game, okay? So first, let's start with the OG. Smash 64 had a very small roster, and at the time, Masahiro Sakurai didn't really know that he struck gold with this game. It wasn't even going to be a crossover game. It was just going to be a fighting game with generic fighters and stuff. But instead, they decided to use Nintendo IP, and lo and behold, Super Smash Bros. Was born. And some of these characters are so iconic to this day. So even though there's very few characters in this first game, there are a few honorable mentions. Our first honorable mention is Samus. Samus was the first zoner type character ever made, and the charge beam where you hold it and then you can use it later with the little blinking, that is a staple to this day for characters that have charge beams. And I think that design was just super important. Now, obviously, I think this iteration of Samus isn't the best version, but I really liked how Smash 64 had a simplified version of Samus. Our final honorable mention has got to be Ness. Nobody knew who Ness was because Earthbound never made it to America, but I think most people really enjoyed him in this game. When you unlocked him, you're like, who is this kid? And then you see that he has a home run bat and you're like, I want to play as this kid exclusively. And I think having this really weird recovery taught a lot of players how to get good at the game at a young age. But no, I do think that the best designed character in Smash 64 has got to be Kirby. Kirby is an ingenious design. It's unfortunate because from this point on, Kirby doesn't really change that much throughout the franchise, but initially being this cute little round ball with extra jumps was OP. Kirby was simultaneously a meta pick while also being very beginner friendly. Every single person knows how to down B with Kirby. But the most ingenious design choice that Sakurai came up with Kirby was introducing his suck mechanic, which gave him the special abilities of whoever he decided to suck. And that has stuck from here on out. And I don't think any other game has really went all in on giving a single character every single character's abilities, including DLCs in the future. So while I do think they could have improved upon Kirby in future iterations, this particular iteration of Kirby in Smash 64 is iconic. And I think almost every single person, even people that don't play games, recognize this pink blob for the menace he was in this game. So MultiVersus is dead now, but that doesn't mean that they didn't have really cool and original ideas for their characters. So here's some honorable mentions. The first one has got to be LeBron James. They turned what was gonna be a joke character like LeBron into a very interesting and dynamic character. The basketball mechanic that he has is absolutely insane, and it's easily one of the most unique characters ever designed in any platform fighter. And come on, you can't be mad, you're playing as the GOAT. There's gonna be some NBA fans down there that are not happy with that statement. My next honorable mention is Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees could have easily not fit in this game, being, you know, a serial killer character, but somehow they took a lot of his iconic things that he does in the movies into a cohesive and really fun moveset that isn't just him slashing people all the time, because that would be kind of boring. Like, the fact that he lifts up a bed and smashes it in half is like, come on, that's so funny. He has a command grab where he grabs you with a sleeping bag. The reference is great, but it's also just a cool move. My final honorable mention is the Powerpuff Girls. You'll see that I have a bit of a soft spot for characters that are multiple characters at the same time. And the Powerpuff Girls, in my opinion, worked surprisingly well, playing as Blossom, Buttercup, and Bubbles at the same time. It worked like magic. But no, I think that the best designed character in MultiVersus has got to be Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is a full-on zoning character with a wide arsenal of projectiles at their disposal. But what makes their moveset so cool is that every single thing that Tom is doing is to attack Jerry, which is very in theme for their characters. As you know, Tom is always trying to stop Jerry, and Jerry never gets stopped. So every single thing he's doing, smacking people, throwing a fishing rod, throwing the balls, everything that he does is to actually hurt Jerry, and he's accidentally hurting you, the opponent. And I think that's very faithful to a character like this. And I'm just glad that the developers were very creative when it came to giving movesets to characters that didn't seem like they would be good fighters. Unlike a character like Shaggy, which he just became like Ultra Instinct Captain Falcon. It was funny like the first time, but then it got old pretty quick. Now, when it comes to Smash Bros. Melee, a lot of new characters were introduced, and a lot of characters from the last game were also updated. I will be giving honorable mentions or shoutouts to characters that have drastically improved from previous iterations. For example, an honorable mention has got to go to Melee Fox. Melee Fox is probably the best character in this game, and he introduced people to the concept of spacies. And even though Fox never actually fought outside of his spaceship in his games, Sakurai came up with one of the most iconic movesets that fits very well for a character like Fox. Now, my next honorable mention has got to be Sheik. The only reason Sheik isn't my pick is because Sheik's unfortunately attached to Zelda, and Zelda is kind of poorly designed. Sheik is very similar to Fox in that technically there really is no gameplay of Sheik in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and yet they cooked super hard with this awesome ninja character. A ninja character that has inspired future platform fighting characters like Greninja and Rano from Rivals of Aether. Sheik is just tight. Our next honorable mention is Peach. They turned this princess into a pretty strong character in this game. At the time, the floating mechanic was very unique and very fitting for Peach. Her ability to pull up turnips and every now and then pull up a bomb was like so mind-blowing. And they just turned an otherwise passive character in the Mario series into kind of a badass. And our final honorable mention has got to be the Ice Climbers. Having the ability to play two different characters at the same time, back in the early 2000s, this should not have worked as good as it did. Yes, it did lead to some jank strategies like wobbling, which is banned in competitive Melee, but you can't deny, this team-up mechanic is so cool to this day. And very few characters from platform fighting games have been able to replicate the sauce that is the Ice Climbers. But no, my pick for the best designed character in Smash Bros. Melee has got to be Captain Falcon. You knew it was going to be Captain Falcon. You saw the thumbnail. Captain Falcon, just like Fox, never actually exists out of his car, so his entire moveset is completely made up. His moveset, that in my opinion is arguably the most iconic moveset in all of Smash Bros. History, period. The Falcon Punch is one of the most famous moves in gaming history, and it was made up for Smash Bros. And while he did exist in Smash 64, I think in Melee we finally got his perfect iteration, with his Raptor Boost side special, his extreme combo game, and of course his very iconic knee. God, the knee. Mwah! Captain Falcon is one of the coolest and one of the most hype characters in Super Smash Bros. And I do think at this point, Captain Falcon is a Super Smash Bros. Character, more than he is an F-Zero character. And I think most people are okay with that. Show your moves! As many of you know, I didn't really enjoy the original Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. It was just kind of a mess of a game, even more so than MultiVersus. And they did fix a lot of the issues with a sequel, which I'll talk about later, obviously. But now let's talk about some of the good designs in the original game, because there are mostly duds in this one. I gotta give an honorable mention to Nigel Thornberry. I think even including Nigel Thornberry was kinda wild. But they made him into a fun joke character with a Jigglypuff rest ability that can just instantly kill, and that's just a fun time. Same thing with our next honorable mention, Hugh Neutron. Hugh Neutron is also just a joke character, but come on, the ability to play as Hugh, and you can throw pie, and he has his ducks. Oh, Jimbo, I'm gonna send you to the Shadow Realm. But I do think the best designed character from the first Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl is CatDog, and I'm honestly kind of disappointed that CatDog didn't make it into the sequel. I like that Cat and Dog had two different types of moves. And just the fact that he's essentially double-sided is always so weird and creates a lot of cool mix-ups. It's a wiener dog-shaped fighter with a lot of really fun references to what is honestly a very underrated show. So while I don't think this game was really that good, CatDog, in my opinion, was easily the best part about that game. Now for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2, they really upped the game. The game felt significantly more polished. All the original characters from the first game that made it back had completely overhauled movesets that felt way better and way less janky, especially for Avatar Aang, because in the first one he was kind of bad, in this one he's a lot cooler. My first honorable mention has got to be the Angry Beavers. People in the comments are going to be like, you know how you get into Macro's favorite design characters? Just be two characters. No, it's not that simple. There's plenty of characters that are two ofs. This one just works really well. The movement is really cool. Swapping between the different beavers is great. And I think it showcases the show really well. A show that I grew up on and really enjoyed. And my final honorable mention is Invader Zim. In the original Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, Zim was fine. A lot of his moveset did carry over, but I think the best part about his moveset now is the fact that Gur acts as kind of a puppet for him mid-battle, kind of similar to how Rosalina and Luma works. And I think that's very fitting. Gur is his little minion guy, and he's probably one of the funniest characters from the show. So having him work like this in the game was a very smart and very genius touch for a character like Invader Zim. But in actuality, I do think that the best designed character in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2 is SpongeBob. In the first game, he was kind of forgettable, but in this game, every single one of his moves is a reference to this beloved show. From his neutral air to his up special, every single thing is like basically a meme. Not because he's a meme character, but because SpongeBob is just that iconic. And I just feel like they captured his essence perfectly. So yeah, if you've never played Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, it's definitely an upgrade from the first game, which isn't saying that much. But if you're a fan of Nickelodeon at all, I think you'll enjoy this game a lot more than the first one. While Super Smash Bros. Brawl introduced a lot more characters to the Smash Bros. Series, a lot of the ones they introduced had kind of mixed design choices. But there are some bangers in this game. Our first honorable mention has to be Pokemon Trainer. The ability to swap between 3 different characters mid-battle is awesome. However, unfortunately in Brawl, the Pokemon can get tired, and that was just really dumb, Sakurai. And that's why they're just an honorable mention. Our next honorable mention has got to be Wario. They turned a guy who was just bad Mario into his own thing. He's grosser, he farts, he bites, he has a bike. They really went all in on the WarioWare vibe, and I'm absolutely here for it. I also think the way that they animate his hits is very smart, making his hand get like stupid huge or his head get stupid huge. He's just a very goofy and very cartoonish character that fits very well in this game. But no, my pick for Super Smash Bros. Brawl has got to be Diddy Kong. I always had a soft spot for Diddy Kong because I really do like Diddy Kong racing, and I have a soft spot for Rareware in general. Diddy Kong is just a lot more unique and more fun than his uncle Donkey Kong. He's got the peanut guns, he's got the banana projectile that you can use for really cool combo games, the jetpack, the hat. He just goes full on monkey mode, and I'm here for it. But I really do think that the combo game that his simple banana provides is absolutely insane. And to this day, Diddy Kong is one of the most enjoyable characters to watch people play at the highest level. So while I could talk about both Rivals of Aether 1 and 2, eventually every single character from the first game will make it into Rivals of Aether 2, and in my opinion, most of the best characters are already in Rivals of Aether 2. And trust me, almost all the designs are really solid, but here are the standout ones. My first honorable mention is Orcane. Orcane's puddle mechanic is absolutely mind-bogglingly genius. It's one of the most unique recoveries in all of platform fighting, period. Finding a really good Orcane can be absolutely annoying, but that's the point. He's like a trickster type character. My next honorable mention is Crag. Crag also has one of the coolest and most unique recovery mechanics, building a pillar of rocks out of nowhere to recover. On top of that, he has the ability to create his own rocks and just is a really fun heavyweight character who is also competitively viable. And all of that is usually pretty difficult to pull off. But in my opinion, the best designed character in all of Rivals of Aether is easily Forsburn. Forsburn is just one of the coolest looking characters you've ever seen. The skull face, the cool cape, he's just badass looking. But 2, his actual moveset is so crazy genius. He has the ability to create clones of himself while also completely obscuring himself within his own smoke. And he can capture all of his own smoke to create a stronger clone or just explode into a humongous burst option. In general, Rivals of Aether absolutely cooks when it comes to their original designs. They don't have any IP to base anything off of, so when they come up with stuff like Forsburn, Orcane, and Crag, it's genuinely impressive. And I'm looking forward to when they finally add new characters to this game, because right now all we have is what, Fleet and Loxodon? So hopefully we get a brand new original banger coming up soon. Seriously, play Rivals of Aether, it's so slept on. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U added a ton of characters, including DLC, and a lot of the DLC are pretty solid. Like, you can't get mad about Ryu. He's like literally ported from Street Fighter, and I think that was awesome. Another honorable mention would have to be Pac-Man. Somehow they turned Pac-Man, the guy that just, chomps things, into a very fleshed out zoner character that represents the Atari era of gaming very well. My next honorable mention is Shulk. Shulk has probably one of the most deep move pools because you have all the different Monado arts, and I think that alone makes him a very fun and unique character to play as. I think theoretically, at the highest level, Shulk should be the best character in any game he's in. It's just really hard with all the different Monados, And my last honorable mention would have to be Villager. I just think Villager is really funny. Animal Crossing is very wholesome, so we didn't want to see a guy like Villager beat people up unless it's Tom Nook. He deserves it. So the way that they actually made his moveset work was that he's always tripping, he's dropping pots, he's shooting a playful slingshot. A lot of his moves are not like intentionally hurting people, and I think that's a lot more fitting for a game like Animal Crossing. And he's just a wholesome little guy. But honestly, my pick for the best designed character in Smash for Wii U is easily Mega Man. When that trailer dropped, it was so hype. This is the OG original Mega Man design, the little small boy version, and somehow they successfully incorporated all of his different powers that he earns throughout the original game into his moveset very smoothly. Every single move is a really cool reference while simultaneously being very cohesive. He's just an overall extremely fun character to play as, and I think any Mega Man fan would agree they got him perfectly. Like, look at this. He's awesome. So I don't play much Brawlhalla, so I'm going to be basing this mostly purely off aesthetics and vibes. I do understand that Brawlhalla is a little bit more about the weapons than it is about the characters. The characters do have individual stats, I understand that. But since I don't play the game well enough and don't understand these individual movesets on a deep level, I did scour through the internet, went through Reddit, went through Twitter, and these were pretty consistently chosen as the most popular and best designed picks. An honorable mention is Raptor. I mean, he just looks so badass, but the reason he looks badass is because he looks like Zero from Mega Man. Like, they're the same. Of course you think he's cool because Zero's cool. But the pick that I feel like a majority of people agree upon is Reno. Look at this four-armed bug cowboy. That is just such a freaking badass design. I'm a fan of Reno. Yo, throw Reno in Rivals of Aether. Throw Reno in every single platform fighter. This guy just looks so unique and so cool. I don't even play Brawlhalla and I'm already a Reno fan. Sign me up. PlayStation All-Stars Brawl is a game that mattered to me and my best friend Dom in high school because we played it all the damn time. And a lot of the character designs honestly were pretty solid. They were just held back by the game's core mechanics being stupid. They should have just copied Smash. That's all I'm saying. My first honorable mention is Nathan Drake. Somehow they made a guy that would normally just be a Pew Pew Indiana Jones knockoff have one of the most unique movesets. He like kicks and shoots a barrel. He tips over like a tower, and it's so weird, but it's very fitting for Nathan Drake. And if you're a fan of Uncharted, you'll like his moveset. But I do think that the best designed character in PlayStation All-Stars Brawl was Sackboy. I miss Little Big Planet, and I'm kind of sad we haven't gotten more Little Big Planet out there. And Sackboy's moveset truly captured the essence of what made Little Big Planet so fun. Sackboy was like the original Minecraft Steve because he was able to build different stuff in the middle of the battle, but it wasn't broken because nobody's as broken as Steve. And if they ever decide to reboot PlayStation All-Stars Brawl, I really do think that Sackboy's original moveset is very fitting and could just be carbon copied. They don't have to do anything to change it. It's great. I gotta respect Slap City because these developers ended up making Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. So that's really good on them. I think the entire cast deserves an honorable mention because the entire cast is just all equally and ridiculously goofy. Seriously, if you played this game, it's just absolutely bonkers. But I do think that the best designed character is the most obvious one. It's Ultra Fish Bungeon 3000. This guy is a buff fish dude. He throws dumbbells at his enemies. It's so dumb, but it's so great. I think his over-the-top ridiculous design and his really fun moveset made him really stand out in this really funny cast. This character, along with Orcane from Rivals of Aether, ended up making it to this game called Fraymakers, which I don't think Fraymakers ever really officially came out. It was going to be like an indie platform fighting game crossover. I think a game like that had a lot of potential, but this is a really difficult genre to break into. As you can tell with the majority of these games either being dead or having like no player base. But I do think it's really cool that developers could make an iconic character like Ultra Fish Bungeon 3000, even if he's only famous in a niche sense. But I feel like those of you that have never seen this guy before are already like, yeah, I see it. I see the appeal. Now we got Icon's Combat Arena, and later it becomes Rushdown Revolt. If you've never heard about this game, I did make a whole video on both of these games a long time ago. They're unfortunately deceased. However, both of these games had one really phenomenally designed character, and it was Raymer. This guy was a Cowboy Bebop inspired platform fighting game character. And if you thought that Joker in Smash Ultimate had really cool guns, you have not seen real guns until you've seen Raymer's moveset. This guy had the ability to ricochet his weapons off the floors and do some really crazy combos with it. I think anybody that has played these games would pretty much agree that Raymer was always the best character that they ever designed because it was also the most original character they designed. A lot of the characters in this game were Fox clone, Captain Falcon clone, you get it. It was trying to beam Smash Bros. Melee, but nobody was asking for that. Okay, finally, Smash Ultimate. Every single character from the Smash series at this point is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And a lot of the new characters they added were fantastic. My first honorable mention has got to be the last character added, Sora. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and I think they did Sora justice. He's floaty, his Keyblade is awesome, he has the different magical elements to him. When you walk away. My next honorable mention is a character from Melee, Roy. Roy back in Super Smash Bros. Melee was kind of mid, and he kind of always was just okay. And in Smash for Wii U, he got a lot better, but in Smash Ultimate, he really feels extremely distinct from Marth at this point. The fact that he's more of a close-range sword fighter is such a strange but very welcome approach to a character like Roy. Roy is our boy. My final honorable mention is Inkling. Inkling is just such a fair character. Inkling's moveset really represents their game series very well and feels very unique with the paint mechanic. But my pick for the best designed character in Smash Ultimate has got to be Terry. Terry Bogard is from a game called King of Fighters, and his entire moveset represents that game very well. He has the Shoto mechanic where he's always going to turn towards the enemy in a 1v1 scenario, kind of like Ryu and Ken. But on top of that, he has this meter after he gets above 100% damage that allows for him to do some of the coolest moves in the game that require specific inputs. So if you're a fighting game fan, playing a character like Terry feels very natural and very satisfying to land. Are you okay? Buster Wolf! Terry's inclusion to this game really surprised me, but he also became one of my favorite characters to play as and to watch. Okay, so that was the best designed characters in every single platform fighting game. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with my choices. Let me know who you would choose for your favorite game. Now, also let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do the same exact thing, but for the worst designed characters in every single platform fighting game. I think considering that a lot of these games are dead for a reason, that might be an easier video to make. But with that, I got dad duties now, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.